day to you all, and welcome to another episode of Wear Many Hats. My name's Rachel. Welcome to you all. Today we've got a fantastic guest with us, Stephen Whybrow, Director of FM at GenOne. Welcome.
Thank you.
So good to have you here.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I mean, this is a podcast totally dedicated to the FM industry. And looking at your career, it looks like you have done that from start to where you are now. So this is going to be really great for anyone that's really wanting to get into the industry, or anyone that's in it and wants to get to where you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did you come from far today?
No, Maidenhead, so not too bad. Straight on the Elizabeth line, nice and easy now.
Love the Elizabeth line. We were literally just saying that. The Lizzie line is so great, isn't it?
It is.
And there's aircon on there. It's just better seating. It's just not like the old central heating line. It's so bad down there. It's so hot. But yeah, it's a lovely line, that one, isn't it? But yeah, so should we give it a go?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's rewind a bit. Where did it all start for you?
Yeah. So,
Big breath.
Yeah. Started at, funny enough, the secondary school that I went to as a teenager. I ended up going back as a site assistant.
Wow.
So that was kind of my first real entry into the States, FM, any type of industry, which was an interesting 4 years. Learned a lot on the tools, found out I probably wasn't very good at being on the tools.
Right, okay.
But, no, Joe, it was good. I remember very clearly, I think it was day one, and I think even my manager at the time asked me, he's like, "Oh, can you grab those raw plugs?" I was like, "I don't know what a raw plug is."
Right, so, you were learning.
Absolutely, yeah. But I think I just had good rapport with the school from not being a bad student, and yeah. So I got a bit of an opportunity to do that, and spent 4 years learning, and eventually, saw a management position come up at another school, which was a brand new school actually being built.
Yep.
And took the plunge, thought, maybe I'm ready for this. But I think at that, I was 23, 24, I think. So very kind of still young into state management and running a school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's a lot of responsibility.
It was. I felt like I was ready, and then it was again another 2 years of learning and taking what I'd learned from my manager, implementing that, which I felt was going well. But then there's a lot more accountability on your shoulders as well, where I was able to speak to my manager. He had support from someone else, whereas I was now that person.
You were the person,
yeah. So had to learn quickly. But it went well. Naturally kind of progressed from there until it got to a point where I bounced around education quite early on, and wanted to get more into the private sector, where I kind of got that introduction into Kia.
Yes, big group.
Yes, yeah. So I ended up being part of a local authority contract where I looked after a bit of a region on the local authority, where it was anything from libraries, social service buildings, etc.
Okay.
So that was for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And Joe, I loved that job. It was really, really kind of just, I think it was almost the making of me, and that kind of really showed me what I wanted to do in FM.
Yes. That's where you really sort of progressed then.
Yeah, I think it was very middle management level at the time, but I was happy with that, and always had my hand up asking for more, always wanting to get involved in more, which I think was the way forward.
Yeah.
And then trooped across to Skanska, because I think Kia ended up either dropping out or not extending the contract. And again, same team, really enjoyed my time with Skanska, just fell during a period of COVID, unfortunately, and that kind of put everything to a halt of progression-wise, and starting again anyway under a new company.
Yeah.
Had a very short stint at BAM, which again, very much enjoyed, but just wasn't there long enough to really see. I felt like the job at the time was maybe not what I quite expected. So,
and post-COVID as well.
I wasn't there very long. But very well run, obviously, and I again enjoyed the people I worked with. And then I kind of got my opportunity as a deputy director for a large college group,
right?
In Kent.
Which
again kind of opened my eyes a little bit to just scale. I think it was then being in a bit more of a senior position. And responsible for a lot more, but nothing that I hadn't been in charge of before or seen or been involved with, but just
a higher level.
Essentially. Done that for a year and then became director.
I saw.
Yeah.
You were there almost 4 years.
Yes. Yeah.
And clearly had worked up the ranks there as well.
Yeah.
Which I'm guessing was well deserved.
Yeah, I think it was. I was given a lot of opportunity there. Very good. It was East Kent College's group. Very good college group. And just opportunities wise, really willing to invest in people. Very good culture. Just again, I loved the job. Loved the team that I ended up building as well. When I came in as deputy director, I had a really senior, experienced director who's kind of background is construction.
Right.
He then became director of projects, which is why I moved into the director of estates.
So he was still there while you were.
He was, yeah.
Good, right?
Yeah. I think that first 6-month period, it was kind of, what did you do on this? What's this? But yeah, we became quite close, and for the last 2 years, all this time was taken up with projects, and I kind of had my own way steering estates and trying to make my own kind of team and what direction I wanted to take it in, rather than I think initially it felt like he's very established, very well respected. You come in and feel like you're in someone's shadow slightly, but took a little while to not feel that way. But in the end, by the time I ended up leaving, I think we had really built up estates and that department, if you like, to be really well respected across the group.
Absolutely. So, and then you almost did your 4 years there, and now you are where you are today, right?
Yes. So
tell us about GenOne and what you're doing there. You're director of FM there.
Director of FM. So I again, opportunity came up that I kind of found myself wondering, how long do I stay possibly in education? Again, my whole career has been roughly education and then obviously a little bit of private sector.
Yeah.
Which again, this opportunity come up. I thought it's back in private sector, but it's working with education, working with local authorities, serving public sector. So
still doing what you know.
Yes, I felt it was a little bit of best of both worlds. Where I'm in that private sector, but it opens me up to a more senior level in a local authority job, like contracts and things like that.
Not necessarily colleges or education.
But a lot of our contracts to date are with schools and colleges. We do have a couple with local authorities. So, and it's just really kind of expanding on what I've learned, and also now being that accountable person in more of a SME private sector, which, again, you learn from your experiences with Kia, Skanska, BAM.
Yes, of course.
But being middle management and now being at the level I'm at, it's kind of being that responsible person, and I'm enjoying it. I think it's not so much a change, but it's a learning curve. Yeah, absolutely. It's very much taking what I've learned and applying that. But I think the excitement was when I was offered the position was that I knew that I hadn't done everything before. Yeah. And I think that sometimes being a bit risk averse, sometimes you go, I'm not sure. But I just thought, actually, when am I ever going to do it? If not. So
exactly.
And I felt this was a good opportunity. So
and you've been there a year and a month.
Just over a year. Yeah.
And you mentioned obviously before that you're growing, which means more for you to do and learn, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we've I think from the time that I started, I think we had less than 10 staff. We've now got between 20 and 30. Wow. We're now
in a year. That's a big expansion. Isn't it?
And again, find ourselves working in different corners of the country and new clients. And
does that mean travel for you? Or
yes, very much so. Yeah. So before. Being in Kent, very much travelling from anywhere from Kent to Salisbury or to Bath or to Crawley, and now I'm a little bit more central in Maidenhead. I can kind of it's not too bad.
And did you move there from Kent to be closer to work, or because it's to do with work? Or
a bit of work, bit of schooling from daughter, a bit of my wife's job as well. Okay. So just naturally. It was a good thing for us to do. So
brilliant. So plenty more to come for you at GenOne then.
Yes, hopefully. Yes,
excellent. So, I mean, did you always know that you were going to get into facilities? Because obviously you said, how did that sort of happen at the school? This is something similar happened to me actually. A teacher, her husband was setting up a company and said, "Do you want to go and do this admin job?" And that's kind of how I fell into my first job.
Mine's similar type of story actually. I was working in retail, and again I kind of left school with I studied finance, and then recession hit, and I was kind of in a position where you either take on a young 17, 18-year-old who has straight out of school, or people who have worked in banking years who've been made redundant and stuff. So I found myself with a bit of a qualification where I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So again, just filling the gap with retail and other bits too, I worked out what I was going to do. And I had a teacher come through my till, funny enough, and
wow,
and just say, "Oh, we've got this position," and said it it's kind of not, it's very entry level, very this, very that, but I couldn't think of anyone better. Like,
wow.
And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. And then start reality of really knowing what that involved.
My gosh, but you went straight into a facilities role as an assistant.
Yeah.
Are you still in touch with that teacher?
No.
No,
I'm not.
The podcast. Because look where you are now.
I know, yeah.
Interaction at a till.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's changed your entire career, from possibly potentially retail, which it is a fantastic industry to work in, but you've gone into facilities.
No, yeah, very much
that conversation.
Yeah, very much kind of, I say fell into it, but very much kind of I didn't know what to expect really. So.
You were guided in by the look of it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, obviously you're in it now, and, you're very much stuck in. Can you imagine yourself doing anything else now? Because, I mean, you've reached quite a high level in FM.
Yeah. Joe, I don't think I could. I love doing what I do.
Right.
And I think it's more sometimes than just the job.
Yeah. You've got to love what you do, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think everywhere I've worked, and I know I've said it earlier, but everyone I seem to work with is always a real strong, fantastic team. And actually, I think where I started GenOne, and it was quite small. I think you kind of grow with the business, but those core fundamental 10 to 15 staff who were there, you build up a real strong kind of rapport, because you're all leaning on each other in those early days. And
you're all going in the same direction, in terms of growth. And
and I think that's what I like about GenOne, that it's a really, really strong positive culture led directly from the MD. We all know who's accountable for what sections, but at the same time, everyone is more than willing to step in and help. We've got real skill set in different areas of the company, that if I'm kind of panicking on a section where I'm going, I'm not too sure on this, I know that I can pick up the phone and someone will help, and they do know, which is quite nice, because everyone's got their own workload and other bits going on, but we always seem to just pull it together and support each other, which is nice.
I'm hearing that a lot lately about teams, and you're not alone. If there's a team with you, you do it together, and I think that's really great. I don't hear so much of the hierarchy anymore. It's not just about me, leading the team. We're all as one.
Oh, absolutely.
I love that's very much, it's changed from how hierarchies. I mean, it probably still is about, but I don't see it too much in FM. I'm very much, or within the property industry, it seems very much team led.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think
you wouldn't want to do it on your own, would you?
No. No.
You're completely accountable.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think no, you're right. I think especially, I said our MD is quite involved, and I think we all benefit from that as well. Very kind of,
definitely.
Like I said, she's very positive, very just supportive, and
knows where she wants to go.
Yeah, very inspiring as well.
I love that she's a she.
Yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. She's great. Yeah, she really is.
Excellent. Yeah, she'll be hearing this. So, is there, apart from the gentleman that sort of approached you about the position, is there anybody else that sort of gave you that real push in your career?
I can probably highlight two people. So, in that first facilities assistant role, not my manager, but his manager actually, who was more in charge of health and safety and stuff.
Right.
I really gravitated to him quite a lot. I had a good relationship with my manager. That was fine. And he didn't mind actually, because again, I was taking more of an interest in maybe health and safety in other areas at the time.
Which is important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think because I then started to want to develop into that site manager role, when I worked with him directly, it was kind of understanding, right, what policies do we need to have in place? What processes do I need? What do I need to think about this and that? And not saying my manager didn't have the time for that, but equally he was running a site at the same time. So it was a little bit easier to go directly, not above him, or he knew exactly what I was doing, and very, very supportive of me moving on as well. You know, wished me luck and said I met up with him actually about 6 months after I moved on, and just asked me how it was going. And again, mentioned, if you need a bit of support, happy to come down. Even one of the guys I worked with, who was again more experienced, he's like, if you need a bit of support and fixing things, again, he can come down and just give you a hand. I was like, oh, brilliant. So, Matt was his name. So Matt really gave me a bit of a steer and the ability to believe I could be a little bit more than what I was doing. And probably my wife, actually. Yeah. Just from being at that manager position, sometimes again being quite young at the time, probably doubting myself in certain areas and not sure whether I was really doing the right thing, and especially early doors when I was maybe just before Kia days, probably wondering whether it was something I wanted to do and stay in the industry. Because again, I felt like I'd fell into it, wanted to progress, got to that level, but wasn't quite sure
which way
if I was cutting it or if I was enjoying it. So I think that's why I took time out of education to get into a bit more of a FM and see if it really was for me. And I think that stabilised my feelings. And so.
And she supported you on
oh, absolutely,
helping you make decisions or running things past her. I think so.
She's so supportive. And I wouldn't trust anyone else.
Yeah, of course. We'd like to think so, wouldn't we?
Yeah, well, yeah, but no, she honestly, she's great. Any time of day that I think I need this or I need just running an idea past, and just for another opinion, isn't it? But equally, I do have that with my team as well at work. So, but I think that those initial early days, and don't get me wrong, I've had some great people, like I said, at EKC Group, Stuart, my previous manager, and even at Kia, Kelly, who I think now works for Lineker.
Okay.
So really supportive people, quite inspiring.
It's great that, I guess, being on LinkedIn, people can still see what you're doing and what you're up to. It's great, isn't it?
It is,
People can still see where you've come from and what you're doing. See, that's what I've done, inviting you on the show, because I can see that you've had a good, solid facilities, career.
Yeah.
So this is great for someone to maybe reach out to you on LinkedIn. It's very much,
of course, and
ask you, how did you do what you do? Love that. So what does a day in your world actually look like these days?
That's a good question. Very varied at the moment, especially with our education contracts. Obviously, we've just come out of a really busy period, those 6-week period where,
it's your busy time, isn't it?
Yeah, flooding contractors on site, getting a lot of work done. But getting it done in that 6-week period.
Challenge.
It is, but we took on a lot of work over the summer, but we've delivered absolutely everything we set out to deliver. Everyone's happy, which is a bonus. And we've come out of that thinking, September will not quieten down, but it's just not as hectic, but it's still
busy.
As hectic. Yeah, so I think it's good for the company, good for us. But yeah, I could be on my phone for hours in terms of phone calls most of the day. I think it's just any typical FM, isn't it? It seems to be, your problem solving, your firefighting sometimes.
So are you office based, or are you remote or hybrid? How are you?
Bit of hybrid. So so
it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, some days in the office, other days I'm out and about on site. And I think maybe one day a week, if I'm lucky, it's working from home just to
catch up,
have that admin day and emails and other stuff.
Yeah, I get a bit distracted at home. I think, the washing, I'll just do that load and then I'll get, so I'm better off probably in the office, to be honest. But it is great for catching up, I think. And then you can have loungewear day as opposed to having to get dressed up to go into the office.
That's always a plus. It is.
Start your day as you mean to go on. But so challenges wise, you mentioned obviously that 6-week period. What's testing you right now in your role? You said you're expanding, so I'm assuming there's some challenges around that.
Yeah, I think our challenge now is that just prior to that 6-week period, we were very much. We knew where we were at with our contracts. We knew what work we had going on. And then we had a few new clients pop up maybe June time.
Okay.
And it just exploded for July, August time, which was great and great for us. And I think it's now establishing moving forward, how that looks as a company and the structure and our resources that we naturally put into something.
Managing timelines, I would have thought with that, especially if you've already got works going on.
It does, yeah.
New works coming in.
That's it, yeah. And I think that's part of where we're already planning for October for some of our contracts. Good. Where, you know, it's again another half term for schools or colleges, etc.
2 weeks now, isn't it?
Yeah, so yeah, it varies, local authorities.
It does, yeah.
But we're very much meeting with our clients in the college and schools to talk about half terms and what works that is. But again, the teams that we have on site that are delivering those works, and then new clients coming on boards that maybe we don't have an initial FM contract with, but we're now doing project work with. Yeah. You know, we've got a few multi-traders that are, again, kind of county and cover areas. So they're starting to get pulled into bits of work.
It's a lot what you do. It's wearing many hats bit, isn't it? That is.
Yeah. It's, again, no, couldn't do it without the team. I think it's very much, I'm just a small part, I think, in some of the works that have gone on over the last 8 to 12 weeks. I wonder how we've managed it, but I think it is just a commitment and a lot of like I said, a lot of drive. I know our MD in that 6-week period was every single day driving to somewhere, driving to ensure that we're on track, meeting with the client, just really hands on,
visible.
Absolutely, just a presence.
Very important.
I think and I think sometimes when you know that you're up against it a little bit, that actually perception sometimes can be, they don't understand, and but we make a real point of making sure that especially my MD, that she's visible. She wants everyone to feel that we're on top of things, that listen to any challenges. How can we do things better? We do make sure that next time, even though this has gone great, but we pushed it right to the wire. How do we do it better next time? And listen to the staff as well. So
absolutely, I think it's so important for management and execs, for companies to really get involved. Because I think sometimes that's lacking. But so it's great that she gets.
She does, and I think that kind of transpires to, like I said, our senior team between myself and a few others that obviously we would be on site anyway, but we know what standards we want to uphold.
She's leading from the front.
Exactly. Yeah,
like that. So where do you think that industry is heading, and sort of what excites you at the minute? You're growing, so you've got some stuff going on.
What
about sort of AI and ESG and tech?
I think where it's going is relating to a lot of tech now, isn't it? We're seeing a lot of, especially in our contracts, that there seems to be more strategic decisions being made now around estate, around your assets, and which is quite nice, because I think through the last 10, 15 years of my experience, tends to be the same, that there's a real focus on, it's a new build, or it's new, it's only a couple of years old, but it doesn't, commercial boilers or commercial plant, etc., doesn't take long before, if you're not looking after it correctly, that it tends to play up a little bit. So I think there's a real drive on tech and, like I said, AI, and being able to really look after what you have, and not so much I take it seriously, but I think it's understanding that your building is an asset itself, and if you don't kind of look after it, and if you don't listen to what it's telling you,
and ignoring things,
it soon becomes a very expensive,
problematic, potentially.
And sometimes it can be relating to just how busy people are. Could be skill set, could be just people unaware. I think that we've seen a real drive and shift in focus on these last 12 months with some of the people we're speaking to in contracts that we're in, especially in local authority and education. But that it's forward thinking now. It's not so much reactive. It's very much, how do we
smart technology?
How do we become proactive in our approach to maintaining, to improving standards?
I see a lot of smart systems and things going in and tracking, like footfall, and that's a fantastic tool, and reporting even with AI.
Absolutely.
I was talking to a previous guest, is that you've got to be careful what you put in, because and make sure you double check everything. Just completely rely on it. I think that's probably where we are, isn't it, at the minute?
I think AI is it's a great tool to be used, and time saving and like you said, those kind of cross-referencing, even using it sometimes for, you check my email.
Yes, that's me.
Yeah.
It makes you sound completely consistent though at all times.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not always feeling, sometimes I have moments where I'm like, oh, it's going to be a long day. And I think ChatGPT in particular for me helps me stay sort of regulated in my response to things.
Yeah.
It gets to know you, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. And I think we're starting to look at how AI can be incorporated into a little bit more of our work, like I said, that reporting aspect, and trying to drive a bit more efficiency out of our service. Like I said, again, being an SME, it can be time consuming when you've got reports coming back, or large risk assessments like a Legionella risk assessment and or fire risk assessment coming out, or extracting all the information. And so sometimes it's handy to run little things like that through it to go, can you extract every action out, and then and we'll prioritize this, and then we can then start looking to quote and how we can assist our clients with that.
Brilliant.
So it just speeds our process up, which enables us to again get the client what they want,
manage time more effectively, I think. I think it's fantastic tool.
And I think it's
so it's a friend of yours then, AI?
It is within limits. I think there's still aspects where, like you said, you have to be quite careful about how much you either rely on it or what you want it to do for you. And I think we're still kind of exploring, well, I say we, but me, probably still exploring its kind of boundaries and what I'm comfortable with it doing, and what I'm still, it's not that I'm more than happy to kind of embrace technology and actually innovation and other ideas, but I think very much you almost don't you don't want to lose the ability to just go, all I'm doing is throwing stuff into a system and doing it for me. I think it removes my role.
That's so true. I don't think that'll ever happen though. Your role is very much about people as well.
I think so.
Yeah. I think it will assist. It's assisting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about cobotics and things like that. I don't think it will ever take away a job completely.
No, I don't.
In FM, I think I don't know. I can't see into the future, but it's very much assisting you in your role, isn't it? So that you can work a bit smarter. I think.
I think and that's pretty much what I use it for. And I think probably the same with my colleagues. It's a bit of time consuming. It's time saving, but also being able to just be a bit more efficient and rely on. I've got a to-do list that is 5, 6, 7, 8 points long, and actually I can get 2 of those done like snapping my fingers by extracting that information, then I can start looking at that. And so and then ESG, like you mentioned, it's we I think I've always, especially at EKC Group as well, I think the social aspect has been always really important for me and my personal personal outlook of things. I think investing in people and
communities.
Exactly. And I think there's always a slight worry that, well, not always, but slight worry sometimes if you're upskilling staff and the wider staff as well that might not directly report into me or to one of my members of staff, but maybe one of theirs. But I've always maintained that it doesn't matter if we train someone up when you have a year of them, and that's it, because if they're in our community, they're improving. They then they might go elsewhere, better themselves, better salary, better job, become self-employed. Yeah, absolutely. And it does, and I think we owe that to people who dedicate their time to us and put in a good job. And I'm quite a strong believer on kind of that staff development and want to see people improve. And we've got a couple of people at GenOne who started in the last few months and taken that first step into FM and doing our IWFM and looking at possible apprenticeships for trades. And so I think we were quite heavily invested into.
That's excellent.
And how we then feed back into our communities via maybe some of the schools and local authorities. I think we've got a little bit of work to do still, but
I think we're right at the beginning of it, really, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think everybody's, as long as, and this is what I've said before, as long as people are trying and making the effort and get moving on it, because you don't want to be left behind at the same time, then you're very much involved in ESG. It's how much or how little you want to do. But I think the more you do, the better. so that you're not, like I say, being left behind. But so do you think the industry's innovating fast enough, or do you think we're playing catch up? You obviously you had a bit of a pause there in COVID, and I always bring COVID up, but do you feel like it's moving? Because for you guys, it would have, education stopped, didn't it? But you were in the private sector then anyway, weren't you?
Yes, yeah. I think it is moving. I think it is moving forward. I think from what we're seeing, for us, obviously, where we are serving that public sector and educational contracts, it very much does strike where we've got like GEMS, which is Good Estate Management Standards from the government. They've also got the state standard that's been released in kind of last July, August time, which talks about kind of 4 baselines and really talks about estate vision, strategy, asset register, and again how the innovation comes into that with new softwares and how we can capture that information for you to get you through those 4 stages. And at GenOne, we are looking at how we can do that ourselves as well. How can we do that and possibly, say build our own software, but very much operate in a way where we can capture that information without having to pay huge CAFM fees. And sometimes, I've seen a few different CAFM systems, been part of a few, and you get as much out of them as you, and sometimes, especially where I've maybe not been at that senior level in that private sector, for Kia and Skanska, I saw a lot from very good CAFM systems, but I'm sure that they either could have done a lot more or they were doing more that I wasn't privy to. So it was very much now I'm kind of going, right, what do I want to see do for us? But if I'm sitting on the client side, what do I want to see? What have we got to tell them? And we seem to be slowly building something that hopefully will help us and help our clients. So.
Yeah, and you're growing, so you're obviously going in the right direction with it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. So looking back, what moment or project are you still very proud of today? Probably been involved in quite a few, I would have thought, but is there anyone that you can think of?
Joe, I think one of my proudest moments probably was becoming director at EKC Group. It felt like that almost next level for me, where I kind of hit a point where I was at it's not always about seniority and other things, but it was very much, I was at a point where I felt like I'd earned my way to that stage, and even though I was fortunate the way it came about with someone. Thankfully, the group had won a lot of money and were building new buildings, and they needed someone directly managing that. But it was still there for me to prove that I could do it, and the group invested in me. But just that team grew from when I took that position. It was me and an estates assistant, or a kind of admin assistant, sorry, who I absolutely loved. She was brilliant. And by the time I left, it had become me, a deputy director, 2 health and safety officers, a soft service manager, a commercial manager. So you
built that team.
Yeah, the team just grew, and again, what came with that was I was trusted to manage those services, and internal promotions from a few of those people. The lady from soft services who managed across the whole group ended up winning like staff member of the year across the whole group. And some of those moments you look back on, I played such a small part. But I like to think that giving someone the autonomy to make their decisions, be there for support, because again, they're the experts in their field. I'm purely there as what can I do to help you, and how can I make these things more manageable for you, and what do you need me to do for you? But allowing them to make their decisions to grow their department, what they wanted to see. I took quite a lot of pride in, I think. So
that's lovely.
I've been involved in, like you said, various projects and other parts, and I think it's always nice when they finish and you can look back on them and actually we've left something much better than what it was previously. Exactly. Yeah,
it's great. I like that. That is a good moment to be proud of. So what's something you wish you knew when you were starting out?
I think maybe just really what FM really was.
A few people have said that have come straight into FM, like it's a huge beast, isn't it?
It is. I think until you really are in it, and like I said, my career is very much crossed over into that kind of estate management to FM. So I think I'm still learning a bit myself. I'm still kind of finding out more and more each day, and like I said, I wouldn't do anything else now. I love it. But I think at that early stage when I was site assistant, I think maybe someone sitting me down and really saying to me, it's a big wide open world. What way you want to go, you can do this, or you can be in health and safety. You can do projects.
It's huge, isn't it?
And just because I think even though I've been very fortunate and I've worked hard to get where I am, but I've like I said, I've been given very good employers who have allowed me to develop and grow while I'm in the job as well. So I'm incredibly thankful to pretty much all of my employers, actually. But at the same time, I think it would have been nice in those early doors to kind of know really what I was, because again, it's great falling into something, it's great growing and naturally taking those steps. But like I said, when I was kind of 24, 25, I kind of became slightly disillusioned by, is this really what I want to do? Because I couldn't see another avenue. I was like, well, is this the job for life now? Is this what I'm doing every time? And then really once I got into Kia, you saw a different side to the FM world. And actually it's like, right, do you know what, there's so much more that I can be doing, so much more than what I was doing. And
so to really look into it and really research it before you go into it.
And I think that's certainly now, I know with IWFM, and it's just a lot more active now. It's a lot more out there, and podcasts like this, yes, absolutely. That it's just
getting a bit of advice.
It becomes a bit more of a viable industry, a bit more of a understanding that when someone, you ask a group of students at college, have you ever heard of FM? I think before maybe the answer would always no. Whereas I think now I think it is a lot more active and a lot more known.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's good for the FM industry to have a voice and to be heard, and like you say, the IWFM as well. It's a great platform for people to get involved and meet others.
Yes,
yeah. It's pretty good. And look, without FM, how would businesses and buildings, etc., run?
I think that's always been in the background of my mind, especially when I was, like I said, at that earlier age. I don't think you even consider who was running, who looks after the shard, who looks after this, who looks after that.
Did we even think like that? I remember one of my first jobs, I was a company called Solar Techs as a training and enterprise council, and I remember our FM manager, and I'm thinking, what does she actually do? Yeah, so that's actually going back way back, like 30 years back. But like even then I was looking to see what that was, but I didn't really know much.
No.
But I do now.
Yeah.
So if someone came to you tomorrow and said, I want to do what you do, what would you say?
Great.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think like I said, a couple of the younger members of staff at GenOne who are now doing their IDOFM, I think have had those similar conversations, not exactly that, but I want to do exactly what you're doing. But I think they've seen the variety of what I do and others do, and have now, like I said, started to explore, actually it's a viable career option. I can go down any route I want to, and if I want to become a specialist in health and safety, if I want to be at the top of FM, or if I want to start surveying fire doors but doing it internally for the organisation, or doing this or doing that. So there's so many different routes now, and I think I think if someone said to me, I want to do what you do, I'd say, right, let's sit down and talk about how
you're going to do it.
Yeah, and what do you need, and how do we get to how do we achieve?
I feel like in FM, you've got to ask an awful lot of questions. If you don't, you're not really going to know an awful lot, are you?
No, and sometimes, especially in that early stage, I know if you're quite junior to a position, that sometimes you can probably feel like it's a lot to take in. I've witnessed, when we've got people working with us, and you've got to be quite conscious that you don't and start going way above and beyond, and then they're kind of stood there going, I'm not sure what's going on here. And I think it's remembering that everyone starts from somewhere. And naturally, this is what we're doing, and this is what our contract says. This is how we're going to achieve it.
To really explain what they're that's the management side, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that's probably the side I enjoy most, to be honest. I think having, I like to think that I'm a good people manager. So I think being able to guide and like I said, allow the teams to kind of have that autonomy, but just guidance. I don't ever feel like I want to micromanage. I want to be able to trust my teams to be able to do what they want, but equally pick up the phone and
say, I need help. Yeah. Excellent. Let's switch off work a little bit. We've got a bit in common, haven't we? But what do you like to do outside of your day job? You've got family.
I've got family, so
spending time
with my wife and my 2 kids. I've got a son and a daughter. How
old are they?
So 15 and 8. Wow. So son's 15.
You're old enough to have a 15. 15.
Yeah,
wow. Okay. So, coming into deciding what they want to do in a career.
Yeah. And he done his work experience. Like I said to you previously, I lived in Kent, so I've just come from Canterbury. So he recently just done his work experience with GenOne, right? Down in Folkestone, where I think he's done the route of wanting to get into carpentry or electrician. So
brilliant. We need more.
Yeah, and I think I was really keen to, and actually my wife got heavily involved in kind of setting that up as well for him, which sometimes work experience, you see some of the placements, it's like, they're at Nando's or this, and that's fine. It's getting them into a working world and environment of understanding what that really is. But I wanted him to experience, and this is a career choice you want to go for. I mean, ask questions, go in there and just
see if you want to do this,
and just see what a day looks like of being on a site or operating on tools and the challenges they face. So
at least you can guide him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I don't know if he thanked me for it by the end of the week, where he was starting at 7 a.m. and getting back at 5:30, and he's like, "Oh, my mates are doing 10 till 3," and I'm like, "Well, it's this is the industry."
Pays off.
Yeah, exactly. But spending time with my family, golf, football,
sport man,
cricket,
football. Who do you support?
West Ham.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I don't know much about football.
Well, we won't mention it anymore.
The colours of the kit, that's about it.
But generally just a lot of time with family. We tend
to get away much, or
I think now where we've recently moved, my wife has a lot of family in Maidenhead, so it's quite nice to reconnect and see them a lot more.
Lovely.
Just explore different areas. I've lived in Kent my whole life, so I'm quite open to the idea of living anywhere and just
lived all over.
And
it's only bricks and mortar, isn't it?
Well, exactly. I think you can make memories everywhere, and there's beautiful parts of the country to be seen. And but we certainly do like to. Some weekends we'll just venture out to an area that could be a couple of hours drive, but go for walks. Do just bits with the family. Sometimes dragging my daughter with us, who might not be as keen. I know Sunday's a good example, actually. Just yesterday, going for a walk and started raining. She's like,
still like the rain.
Yeah. And
how old is she?
She's 8.
Oh yeah.
And my wife went back to the car, and I just took my daughter and dragged her along to the rest of the walk, and walked back to the house. So I was like, no, we'll be fine.
Oh dear.
So she thanked me for that. But,
love that. So last one, what's the best bit of advice you've ever been given?
There's always something to do.
Wow. Isn't there just?
Yeah. I think, again, I try to be quite, I say, reasonable. And I think I expect quite high standards from our teams. I think, to be honest, I think everyone does anyway, obviously, when you're in that job. But even if we've done everything that is on a list to do, even if we are, we're absolutely smashing the contract, we're, meeting our KPIs, meeting our SLAs, there's more.
Oh yeah.
We can always be doing more.
Especially if you're growing.
Yeah. And it's very much, I want us to be able to show the client what we're doing. I want us to be doing things that they've not asked for. I want them to see us doing, that looks great. Like, didn't ask for that. And go, well,
proactive.
Yeah. I mean, fundamentally, we are a service, aren't we? That's what we are. And I want us to be the best, and I want us to deliver the best. And I think to have that mindset and be able to instill that on all our teams, that we're never done. You know, we are constantly looking to do more, constantly striving to do better. That continuous improvement kind of model, really, and just really, how do we deliver this? Right, this works great, everyone's really happy, but I reckon we can do it better next time out, and you know, never really just standing still.
Correct. This industry will never stand still.
No, that's
always something to do.
There's always something to do, and I think I might have learned that slightly the hard way when I took that advice on, because again, I was young and impressionable and wasn't sure really if it was something I wanted to do. But
where you are now.
Yeah, and I think I've just tried to take that everywhere I've gone now, and go, you know what, it's 3 o'clock. I've hit everything off my list to do, but actually, let's get ahead for tomorrow. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's not just take it for granted. And
won't get much done that way, would we?
No.
And I think, I was speaking to a guest earlier, and they said, you know, I don't think we really look at all our successes along our careers. You know, we don't look at how far we've come sometimes. Don't celebrate the wins enough.
Yeah, I think that's
always striving for the next thing.
Absolutely.
It's very important to look at how far you've come.
Yeah, and Joe, that's not, you say that and that kind of resonates, because I think I've been told that before, that you are kind of fixated onto the next thing sometimes, and you forget maybe the achievement that's just happened. It could have been a 3-month project, could have been a year project, and actually as soon as it's completed, it was great, and then you're straight on to the next thing, and actually you do forget the time, the effort that's gone into something, and you do have to celebrate those wins, because it can be, like I said, it can be a demanding industry. It can be, there's high expectations, and if you set the high expectations yourselves as well, that sometimes that comes with a little bit of pressure, where you go, right, you are constantly moving forward, but no, I think that's probably a bit of advice I need to heed a little
bit more. There you go.
So, yeah.
You heard it here. Thank you so much, Stephen, for coming on today and sharing your journey with us. And I'm sure people probably want to reach out to you on LinkedIn and get your guidance. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show, and I'm sure it will be very inspiring to people getting into the industry or wanting to start their career. So thank you. And that's the end of today's show. Wear Many Hats, the podcast totally dedicated to the FM industry. Until next time, so please like, share, forward on to your friends and family, and we'll see you next time.